I think for writers, one of the hardest things in terms of writing and finishing a book is really finding the time to just sit down and really sort of get it out. And I think that in order for them to do that, it's a little bit different for every person. But one of the most important things that I hear from a lot of writers are that they really just have to make the time, even if it's just an hour a day. That hour adds up. So it doesn't have to be sitting down in front of the computer for 5 hours at a time, but just an hour a day over an extended period of time. And it's also important for first drafts not to get hung up on the sentence structure, or if you start to sense a problem. I've seen a lot of people who will revise and revise and revise, and they just never get to the end. And I think the easiest way to sort of get the novel out and get to the end, especially if it's a first novel, is just, if you notice something that isn't working, you sort of like make a side note, but don't go back and revise, just push through to get to the end, because you can always go back later. The most important thing for me is always the characters. And is this novel, it can have a great plot, but is it also driven by who the characters are and their personality? Because at the end of the day, it's the characters that have sort of come alive off the page that I'm thinking about afterwards that are going to make me remember that novel and help it stand out. At the same time, you can't just have, a 100,000-word character study. Having an interesting plot and really good pacing, so that you never feel like you want to put the book down, is really important. I actually heard somewhere that when Stephen King was writing, that he would have his wife read his first drafts, and he would follow her around while she was reading. And every time she put the book down to do laundry or make food or anything like that, he would make a note of where she stopped reading. And I think that, that might be a little extravagant, but knowing where people are going to stop and pause in the reading, and then doing something to sort of tweak the pacing to make sure that no one is going to stop and pause, is really important. Because if you can grab a reader with a first sentence and then pull them all the way through the end without stopping, that's definitely a mark of a really good book.